Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where...
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like... Fucker! You fucker! Fucker!
Huh? What the f...
Hello again, everyone. This is Bionic Slime. I'm your online voice for reviews of your choice. Just a few hours ago, before I decided to sit back down in this chair and talk to you guys over this microphone, I was sitting in an IMAX theater. What was I doing this in the IMAX theater? I was watching as my brains, my ears, and my mind was being skull blasted with the loudest, biggest, most explosive, extravagant summer blockbuster movie of this or any century. A movie that literally defines summer blockbuster far beyond any other film has. I am, of course, talking about the absolutely epic and unbelievable Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. One of the most highly anticipated films of this year and on my personal must-see movie list. Contrary to popular belief, not everyone thinks Michael Bay is a douchebag who can't direct worth a crap. I actually think he's pretty damn good, especially after seeing his marvelous work on the original Transformers film, which I absolutely loved. Now, I am not the world's biggest Transformers fan, but I am a fan nonetheless, and I was insanely pleased with his work. Outside of some problems from the original film, I thought overall as a whole it was an epic, incredible movie that I loved. So I was quite eager to see how this new one was turned out, and boy, did he not disappoint. If anything, he surpassed, and I'll tell you why. Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen is brought to you by DreamWorks and Paramount Pictures, and it was directed, as I said, by Michael Bay. It was written by Aaron Kruger and Roberto Orci. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. And it stars Shia LaBeouf as Sam Witwicky, Megan Fox as Michaela Baines, Josh Duhamel, I don't know how to say it, as Major Lennox, Raymond Rodriguez as Leo Spitz, Kevin Dunn and Julie White as Ron and Judy Witwicky, and John Turturro as Agent Simmons. The plot. Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen picks up 2 years where the original film left off. With the Decepticons all dead and on the verge of scouring across the planet and hiding as best they could, the military has teamed up with the Autobots and are spending most of their days hunting down Decepticons all over the world. However, they left a cryptic message from one Decepticon that something big is coming, something called the Fallen. Meanwhile, Sam is moving away to college and is trying to maintain his relationship with his girlfriend Michaela, while at the same time trying to deal with the fact that he has now received mind-blowing mental screwball images from the Allspark. They are now giving him strange symbols that are bored into his brain and causing him to spaz out in class. And he soon learns that there is a war coming between the Autobots and our vast approaching Decepticons that are searching for a new source of energy besides the Allspark, including a mysterious new villain called the Fallen, who has decided to come to Earth and avenge something that happened thousands of years ago. Review the plot. Now, I was very careful in what I was wording there because there was actually quite a bit of information that's a spoiler in here. While some of it is already clearly revealed by the trailer, there's still quite a few surprises this film has for you. What I loved about this is that it took the whole relationship with the Transformers to a whole new level. It was no longer just, we're scared of these guys, we don't know what to do with them. Now you see them actually interacting, trusting with the Autobots and Decepticons, and they really, really upplay the whole other side of things. We saw much more of the Decepticons, got a better understanding of how they think, how they work, a much more extravagant history behind just how important and how long these Transformer robots have been here and infecting Earth. And I thought that was really fascinating that we could see that. I mean, out of all the mind-blowing action this movie is jam-packed with, no doubt, we have a really compelling story here with not only the robots but the characters. I absolutely loved the enhanced proportions of the romance between Michaela and Sam. I thought it was much better here. You have much more friction, much more emotion from them. But that's going into acting. So now, as I said before, let's go on to review the characters. Since I'm jumping ahead around here, sorry, I'm still quite a bit pumped for the movie, in case you couldn't tell. Acting, I was much more impressed here than I had before. The appearance for Sam's folks were much more involved, much funnier, and much more dramatic in this film. There was a lot of real dark drama here, and as I said, I was absolutely blown away by all of the intensity that was going on. This movie's very intense, and despite the fact that it does have a lot of humor, there is a lot of darkness to it. Sam and Megan Fox, Shia LaBeouf did an awesome job, fantastic. I love the relationship more and more, and their performances only enhanced my interest for the characters. And speaking of characters, holy crap, bag, we have a shitload. There are so many robots and Transformers here, it's impossible to keep track of them. Unless you go on Wikipedia, like I just did a few minutes ago, to keep track of everyone. You got lots of new characters. You get more depth on some of the older ones. We got new guys like Skids and Mudflap, who are these two twin Autobots who have caused quite a bit of controversy over racial tones, apparently. I thought they were hysterical and worked great together. You get this big, huge frickin' Transformer Decepticon called Devastator, made up from several other ones. You got this bitchin' Panther one called Ravage. You got this swords-wielding one called Sideswipe for the Autobots. You got this really big old one called Jetfire. There's just so much going on in this movie. It's ridiculous. I can't talk about this movie without just saying that you are certainly not going to be bored. There is so much explosions and fighting and shit going on that it almost never stops. There's constant intensity and drama from the frequent battles that appear everywhere. It's like World War III. You thought the action was hard to follow and mind-blowing the first one. You ain't seen jack shit yet. There are so many Megazord-like sized robots fighting and beating the crap out of each other with plasma-powered weapons. You got soldiers shooting tanks from left wings. It's so ridiculous. It's like being in a real war, but with having giant robots in it. And it never gets old. It's constantly kept going, so you're never left to worry about what's about to happen next. It doesn't get dull or repetitive because they keep it fresh, intense, and they never let up on the drama. Review of the cinematography and the camera work and the music. Music was fantastic. Really dark, deep tones come in here. Great use of, as always, of Linkin Park and some more trademark music. Some really good stuff here. I really loved how it emphasized the dramatic scenes, and they really helped with that music. There's quite a few drama scenes, so I was quite pleased with that. Camera work, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You got some great shots of everything, from the forest, from skies, from the Transformers come down and crash through the battleships. There's so much visual feasting going on that you cannot believe this is all happening right before your eyes. And think, this movie's practically 3 hours, and yet there's still something new and something fresh constantly coming at you without ever stopping, never slowing down, and never giving up. The movie's also really freaking funny. I was quite laughing my ass off quite hard, I might add, because there's a lot of humor. Yes, it's immature. Yes, it may be juvenile. I thought it was freaking hysterical. I don't care if you're a person who credits him or herself on being intelligent. I don't think there's anything wrong with laughing at something, even if it's a little immature or dirty. Skids and Mudflap are definitely what I would call immature, but they were funny as freaking hell. And I think it all worked in the writing of this movie because it worked out great. You had a lot of humor, a lot of sexuality, which made things more interesting for teenagers, including, myself. I always enjoy that. I always think it's all good. And there's so much going on here. It's so hard to explain. Cons about the film. As I said, there's a lot of freaking characters. And that's one of the things that actually I have to say is the biggest problem. There are so many constant characters in here that the movie pretty much knows this and doesn't make an obvious attempt to detail them all, because virtually that'd be impossible. We mostly get shots of Skids and Mudflap and Bumblebee and the bad guys like the Fallen, Megatron, and Starscream. I mean, it's so hard to keep track of who these characters are that it really seems almost senseless to put in trademark characters when they're being shot down in a mere second and you don't even know who the hell they were. It's very confusing and very clustered, and sometimes you feel it's great in the sense that they have so many characters in it, but other times you feel there are certain guys that were much cooler that you thought you could have done a little bit more with. And that's a shame, because there's a lot of things that they don't really explain in terms of the fates of some of the other characters, much like they did in the first Transformers film with some of the Decepticons. Well, just one of them, really, the cop, Barricade. They actually explained what happened to Starscream here, and Scorponok, the sand robot from the first film. But other than that, even though I felt the first film was composed better as a whole, this one still worked. It just wasn't as coherently placed. It didn't have a well mix of everything as the first one did. Final wrap-up review. This movie was fan freaking-tastic. My mind is still blowing. I couldn't believe my eyes, my ears, my senses. This is an incredible movie. Despite the fact that there's so many characters and it's really hard to keep track of what's going on, this movie never lets up. It is a true summer blockbuster. Beautiful performances and acting. You got great music. You got awesome fight scenes. I've never seen fighting look so imaginative, creative, and excellent, and just downright kick-ass. This film is a great tribute to fans of Transformers, fans of just the movie of Transformers, and just fans of good entertainment. I don't care what anyone says, how immature or how action-packed it is, there is something truly awesome behind this movie, and I think everyone should stop hating Michael Bay and check it out. Bottom line, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen gets a perfect 5 stars out of 5 stars. That's all for now. Thank you for listening. This has been Bionic Slime, and bye for now.